This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
We are following breaking news right now after a manhunt in Fishers. What we know about the police chase that then led to that search.
And Indianapolis Public Schools giving teachers the biggest raise in the district's history. We'll break down that new pay scale.
And a natural gas leak in a Greenwood neighborhood is finally getting repaired. Why it took the gas company more than a week to get it fixed. Time now is 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. We got to talk about the weather because it is bone-chilling cold out there this morning. Todd Clausen is standing by. We're breaking another record.
Another one, Todd.
Yeah.
We already did. Yeah, the second one in a row, and records that we don't want to break here, right? The record low was set this morning. It was down to 9 degrees. It's now come up to 10 degrees in Indianapolis, but that's kind of a fickle number here throughout the course of the morning when you have the snow on the ground, a lot of wind, one little cloud comes in, your temperature comes up when it's this cold, expecting that number to go down. But again, we were down to 9 degrees in Indianapolis. Crawfordsville down to 3 right now, 6 degrees in Bloomington, 7 in Greenfield. Thankfully, there's not a lot of wind out there as of right now. That will change, though, as we work our way into the course of the afternoon hours. So not figuring in the wind chills that are all that bad compared to what they could be if it was really windy, but still feels like 2 in Indy. -4 is what it feels like in Peru. So skies are mainly clear. Nice bright full moon out there this morning. And as we expand out, there is a little bit of cloud cover and some snow off to our west. We will not get into the snow, but you will see some of this cloud cover make its way in here as we work our way into the course of the afternoon hours. So it's a cold day once again, especially the first half of the day, but we will start a warming trend. Yesterday, our high temperature only got up to 21 degrees. We should already be there by the noon hour today with a temperature of 26 degrees, and then we'll top off right around the freezing mark as we get into the 4 o'clock hour with those skies becoming partly cloudy. We'll talk about the rest of the week for you coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Right now around the roads, no crashes here in the metro area, so that is great news. Let's plan out your drive right now, heading in from the south side. Traveling northbound on State Road 37 from Smith Valley Road in Greenwood to I-465. The ramps there. It's just a 9-minute drive, no delays. If you're hopping on I-65 northbound at Southport Road, heading up to the downtown area, I-70 at the north split, it's a 10-minute commute, so everything there is moving along just fine. Let's take a turn up to the northeast side. Good morning to you here. This is I-465 and I-69. You can see traffic is picking up a little bit in that area, both northbound and southbound. No delays right now for your morning commute.
We're following breaking news this morning on the north side. A manhunt in Fishers has ended, but officials are still trying to piece together what happened.
Our Kelsey Anderson joining us live this morning with all the details. Kelsey.
Lauren and Meredith, what we know right now is that there are 2 suspects in custody. Now, let me lay out for you what the preliminary investigation is saying, as police are still continuing with this investigation. So, according to officials on the scene, officers were responding to a report of a drunk driver. When officers tried to stop the car, the driver tried to flee and led police on a short chase that ended near the Saxony neighborhood, and that's when they say the suspects fled on foot. Around 3 a.m., police reported both suspects are now in police custody. Now, during this search for the suspects, an officer reported hearing shots fired. Now, several agencies are investigating what happened. We know Fishers Police, Noblesville Police, and ISP were all on the scene this morning investigating what exactly happened and determine if shots were fired. Now, there is a press conference coming up this morning at 6 a.m. We will have it for you here on Good Morning Indiana. For now, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you very much. More money is coming for Indianapolis teachers. Indianapolis Public Schools just approved what they say is the largest raise ever given by the district.
And this comes a week before what's expected to be a huge rally at the State House for public education funding. IPS is spending about $31 million on pay increases. That money to do this comes from additional tax dollars that was approved by voters in last year's referendum. Teachers with IPS are getting a 2-year contract. Here's the breakdown of this raise. The lowest teachers can make in the first year is $45,200, that is. That's up from the current $42,500. The highest is $82,800. In the second year, the minimum pay is $47,800, and the maximum is $90,000. But despite this raise, a longtime teacher highlights her salary as proof, saying the state legislature needs to increase their public school funding.
I'm a 15-year teacher. 15 years ago, the same teacher made the equivalent of $20,000 more than I do right now.
Well, the raises are set to go into effect by the end of the year. Service workers such as custodians, food service, and transportation employees will also receive a raise. They will be at the State House next week on November 19th when teachers will go red for ed and rally for support from state lawmakers.
One Southern Indiana judge is now suspended and 2 others will be suspended later this month after a shooting in downtown Indianapolis. The Indiana Supreme Court handed down the punishment yesterday. Clark County Circuit Court judges Andrew Adams and Bradley Jacobs were both shot outside of the White Castle on South Street near Illinois Street in May. Crawford County Circuit Court Judge Sabrina Bell is accused of flipping off other people involved in the incident before the shooting. Adams is suspended for 60 days without pay. Jacobs and Bell will be suspended for 30 days without pay.
The driver accused of causing a deadly crash has been declared competent to stand trial. Prosecutors say Bruce Pollard caused a chain reaction crash on 465 in July that killed a mother and her 18-month-old twins. Several other people were injured in that crash. He's facing several charges, including 3 counts of reckless homicide. A final pretrial conference in this case will be held next month.
Hate crime incidents in Indiana are at the highest levels in nearly 2 decades, according to a new report released by the FBI. 107 hate crimes were reported in the state in 2018. That's nearly double the incidents reported in 2017. FBI data shows most of the 2018 incidents were motivated by race, ethnicity, or ancestry. Last year, Indiana lawmakers passed a hate crimes law, but it still faces criticism over its wording. The law does not explicitly list age, sex, or gender identity. Across the country, hate crime reports dropped last year for the first time in 4 years.
Repair work to fix a lingering gas leak is now underway after concerned neighbors asked RTV6 for help. Natural gas has been leaking for more than a week now near Easy Street and Leisure Lane in Greenwood. Neighbors say an overwhelming smell of gas has taken over the neighborhood since November 2nd. After the fire department evacuated several homes because of a possible natural gas leak, it turns out the gas was leaking from outside of a home.
The smell has just been awful. We've tried calling and nobody has came out here. I mean, they marked it the day after it happened, and the stink has just been completely disgusting. And I mean, we can just walk out into our garage and smell it.
A veteran spokesperson tells RTV6 it took some time to identify the source of that leak. They described the situation as non-hazardous because it was small and isolated. Veteran says because of that, the leak did not need to be repaired immediately. Time now is 5:08 on this chilly, frigid Wednesday. Todd, what do people need to know?
Yeah, temperatures this morning actually colder in spots than they were yesterday morning. So you just need to bundle up once again. We don't have that winter weather advisory in place this morning because we're a little further away from the snowfall that took place on Monday. So as you walk out the door this morning, temperatures will be in the single digits. The sun comes up, and at that point, we will start to warm throughout the day today. That's the difference. Yesterday, we were cold, and we only slowly moderated those temperatures. Today, they should moderate a little bit quicker, and that's due to more of a southerly wind that will be in place. So it's mainly clear right now. No threat of any precipitation in your forecast here for the morning hours or even the afternoon. All this you see here to the north and to the west, that's exactly where that should stay. Should not impact us all here throughout the day today. So as far as where your high temperatures are going, we should all be generally right around the freezing mark in most locations, even some mid-30s to the south in Bloomington, as well as the Columbus area. As you work your way north, obviously a little bit colder. 30 in Noblesville, about 29 will be your high temperature today in Kokomo. So bundle up as you walk out the door. We'll talk more about this warming trend that's heading our way coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Today, millions of Americans will get to hear testimony in the impeachment inquiry. Coming up, what the president is doing to defend himself during public hearings.
And the new Apple Card is being accused of discriminating against women. Still had the issues with the card's credit limit. We'll be right back.
And we have a crash report near Emerson Avenue here in the westbound lanes of I-70 over on the east side of town. This is a live look near Sherman Drive where you can see traffic is still moving along up to speed there in all the other lanes. We'll continue to keep a close eye on that and let you know when everything is clear. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Welcome back. We are monitoring an issue over here on the east side, westbound lanes of I-70. We do have a crash reported in the left lane. Traffic is still getting by just fine there on the east side. This is something we'll continue to monitor, and we will keep you updated.
Two witnesses are just hours away from kicking off the public phase of the impeachment inquiry proceedings. Millions of Americans getting to see and hear what has been going on behind closed doors. Bill Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, and George Kent, a senior State Department official, will testify today. Both have already testified behind closed doors. Taylor talked in private about President Trump using military aid to Ukraine as leverage for political gain. Kent accused Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, of running a campaign of slander and lies. House Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff reveals among the impeachable offenses under consideration includes bribery.
Standard we'll have to evaluate is whether these facts show bribery, treason, high crimes, or misdemeanors.
President Trump maintains he did nothing wrong. The White House is also preparing to launch a rapid response team to react in real time to the public testimonies. Today's hearing alone is expected to last more than 6 hours.
The new Apple Card is being accused of discriminating against women. Some customers say the card's issuer, Goldman Sachs, is giving women far lower credit limits. It even happens if women share assets and accounts with their spouses. The allegations blew up on Twitter after a tech entrepreneur wrote that the Apple Card offered him 20 times the credit limit than his wife. They share assets, and her credit score is actually higher. Apple's co-founder Steve Wozniak also noticed it, saying that his credit limit was 10 times that of his wife. The New York Department of Financial Services is looking into those discrimination allegations.
This morning, Houston police are looking for the man who stole a woman's purse while dragging the victim down an escalator. This video shows him approaching the woman from behind before trying to swipe her purse. She holds onto it and the attacker drags her all the way to a door. She eventually lets go and the suspect runs off. Family members say the victim was left with scratches and bruises. Officials believe the victim was followed into the Galleria Mall after she walked out of a nearby bank. Police have not yet made an arrest.
After the winter weather on Tuesday, an Ohio highway was shut down because of a 50-car pileup. According to the Highway Patrol, the crash happened on Interstate 80 near Austintown. More than 50 vehicles were involved, including some semis. Several people had to be transported to a hospital. Officials say that it's another reminder about the importance of safe driving during winter conditions. And Todd, any ice or anything on the roads from the day before is probably still out there today because it's still cold.
Yeah, you know, it's still cold, and we had sunshine yesterday, so there was some melting that took place, even though temperatures only got up into the 20s. But yeah, that refroze as soon as the sun set. So certainly there could be a few lingering slick spots out there this morning, but no additional precipitation. That is the good news, but more record cold temperatures this morning. We've already set the record low already here across the area earlier this morning, and that was when we dipped down to 9 degrees. The temperatures come back up to 10 degrees right now, but here is the key to the forecast for the day today. The wind, it's not that strong right now, which is good news since temperatures are this cold, but it's not the wind speed I'm pointing out, it's the wind direction. We've turned our winds a little more southerly now, and that will allow the temperatures to moderate a little bit here as we go throughout the course of the day today. So we were down to 3 earlier in Crawfordsville, now up to 5, 6 in Bloomington, 8 in Greenfield, 6 in Tipton right now. So bitter cold, but we're not factoring in too much of a wind chill. I know these numbers are still very, very cold, but it could be a lot worse compared to yesterday when we had those 17-mile-per-hour winds throughout the morning hours. So here's how your temperatures break down throughout the day today, hour by hour. We're already into the mid-teens by 9 a.m. We're already to 22 degrees by 11 a.m. Yesterday, our high was 21 degrees. So we're going to moderate the temperatures pretty quickly here this morning, and eventually we'll see those temperatures get up into the low 30s, back to right around the freezing mark. Still obviously very, very cold. Again, it's just improvement over where we were yesterday in this forecast. Now, as far as the cloud cover goes, we start off completely sunny across the area, but as the day goes on, you will notice some high, thin clouds start to stream in from the west. All this precipitation, that will stay to the north. That's not something you need to worry about here in the forecast for the day today. And then this evening, yesterday with the clear skies, we fell right back down into the teens. As those clouds come in, temperatures are going to hold pretty steady here throughout the evening hours, right around 29 degrees. Tomorrow morning, it's still chilly, not as cold though, with temperatures in the teens and 20s across the area. And then throughout the day tomorrow, temperatures start to moderate a little closer to that 40-degree mark with partly cloudy skies. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, the temperature temperatures will continue to warm each and every day all the way into the middle of next week. By the weekend, temperatures are in the 40s, and then eventually by Monday and Tuesday, highs will be right around 50 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. It looks like that crash cleanup we mentioned earlier in this show is clear over on the east side. It was in the westbound left lane here near Emerson Avenue. This is a look from Arlington Avenue where everything is moving along just fine. So that is good news. Let's take another look at I-70, this time over on the west side of town. At your drive time from Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 at the south split. Look, maybe you're dropping someone off at the airport heading back towards the downtown area, and you won't have any problems here traveling eastbound. It's a 12-minute drive, so that is up to speed this morning. Let's take a look up here on the north side, I-465 and Keystone Avenue. You can see quite a few headlights up that way. Traffic's moving along up to speed. No issues right now on the north side.
The largest Starbucks in the world is set to open this week. The Chicago building is 43,000 square feet and 4 stories tall. The building used to be a former Crate and Barrel location along the city's Magnificent Mile. It offers a unique experience with each floor featuring a different take on caffeine. You can watch the roasting process on the first floor and get a specialty coffee cocktail on the 4th. Local artists were also brought in to decorate each space representing the city. The new location will officially open on Friday morning. Sounds very delicious right about now.
Oh, yeah. Well, country music's biggest night is almost here. Tonight's singers and songwriters will be honored at the 53rd Country Music Awards. The show will be hosted by Carrie Underwood, and it will celebrate the women of country music. Hank FM's Dennis joins us from Nashville with more.
Good morning from Nashville. It is bitterly cold, 20 degrees, I do believe. We are hoping for some warmer temperatures later on tonight as we get ready for the 53rd Annual CMA Awards. They have been preparing for this night for so long now, continue to do that this morning as well. Luke Combs will be stopping by Good Morning America for a performance. Do not miss that. We will be hitting the red carpet later on tonight, bringing you up close and personal with the artists, taking everything from Nashville back to Indianapolis, and then, of course, the awards show this evening. Something so powerful ahead tonight, celebrating and honoring the legendary women of country music. The show will start with 14 women on stage all at once to open it up. Carrie Underwood will be hosting the show with very special guests Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton. One of the highly anticipated performances many are talking about, Casey Musgraves and Willie Nelson tonight. Who knows who's going to take home Entertainer of the Year? It's that piece of hardware that everybody wants to get their hands on, so make sure that you join us for that. 8 o'clock tonight on ABC. Live from Nashville, Kara Dennis, RTV6.
Kara, thanks. And Hank FM's Kara Dennis is going to join us from the CMA red carpet just ahead of tonight's show on the news at 6 and 7. The CMA Awards begins at 8 p.m. tonight right here on RTV6.
Dungeons and Dragons is going all out to celebrate its anniversary. After the break, how you can get this luxury dice set with real jewels.
All right, here's a live look on I-465 in Washington Street. This is the west side. Looks like we do have a few slowdowns here, so this is a spot we're going to monitor and let you know if there are anything you need to avoid in this area on the west side. Stick around. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 5:25 here on your Wednesday, and you can see we have some slowdowns and stopped traffic here on the west side. The right side of your screen are the southbound lanes of I-465 at Washington Street. A crash right now is blocking the 2 right lanes, and that's the reason for this delay. So give yourself a few extra minutes if you're traveling through this side of town.
A popular game is celebrating its 45th anniversary in style. The fantasy role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons announced it is releasing a set of dice with real jewels. The luxury dice are made out of bright aluminum and have a lab-grown sapphire embedded inside. The dice will be a limited edition collector's item and are going to cost about $300 per set. Only about 2,000 will be made. The dice are set to go on sale November 21st. Good Christmas present there for the Dungeons and Dragons fan in your home.
Yeah, the game lovers there. All right, we do want to bring in Todd Clausen, talk about the forecast today, Todd, and it's going to be dangerously cold.
Yeah, we're going to roll the dice, which I know I'm going to get both of you for Christmas.
Yeah.
And we're going to roll
That's
32.
generous.
Big D&D guys.
32 is going to be our roll for our high temperature later on this afternoon. But this morning, it is all about the single digit digits out there. It is very, very cold, but with more of a southerly wind here throughout the day today, we are going to moderate the temperatures a lot quicker this morning than we did yesterday. In fact, by the noon hour, we're up to 24 degrees. Yesterday, we only got up to 21 for our high, so we'll be warmer at noon than we were all day yesterday, and then we'll continue to see our high temperatures warm throughout the day today, up to that number of 32 degrees I just mentioned, and then the warming trend will continue. Mid-30s for Thursday and Friday, 40s by the weekend, 50s to come next week.
Todd, thank you. After mobile home park residents were told they were being evicted, a deal has been reached in court. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, the agreement made by the Indiana Attorney General.
And we do want to take another look at that slowdown on the west side. Southbound drivers on 465, a heads up as you approach Washington Street. The crash is blocking 2 right lanes, causing these delays you're seeing on the right side of your screen. This is a spot we're going to keep our eyes on, and we'll keep you updated throughout the morning. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Straight ahead here at 5:30, 2 people are in custody following a police chase and a manhunt in Fishers.
Our Kelsey Anderson will join us live with details on what happened and the latest on the investigation. And an agreement has been reached between residents of this mobile home park and the Attorney General.
We've got all the details on that deal and, of course, the resident reaction. But first, here at 5:30, we do want to get a check of our forecast.
Yeah, now we don't have any school closures or delays this morning, despite temps being in the single digits in some places. We did want to mention, however, the superintendent of Brown County Schools just tweeting out that a call went out to parents this morning that inaccurately stated that school would be closed today. Once again, that was an inaccurate statement. School is open for Brown County Schools. Probably unfortunate for those kids because it is going to be cold out at the bus stop, Todd.
Yeah, anywhere you go, everybody's going to be frigid here this morning, whether it's Brown County, it's Miami County, or right here in Marion County. It is going to be frigid. Everybody pretty much is going to be in the single digits. So what do you need to grab before you go? Well, the heavy hat, the heavy gloves, the heavy jacket, the warmest you can find. That's what you need here today. And then the sunglasses. It'll be a bright day. As far as those temperatures, we come up to 10 degrees now in Indianapolis. It was down to 9 earlier, which set the record low temperature once again. 5 in Crawfordsville, 6 in Bloomington right now, 6 in Richmond. So it's a frigid morning, not much of a wind out there. That is the good news as of right now. That wind will start to pick up, though, as the day goes on. Here are the clear skies, just a few clouds currently out there, but there are more clouds off to our west, and those will start to make their way in here throughout the day today. So we start off mostly sunny, turn it partly cloudy throughout the day. But overall, it's a decent day for us. 26 already by the noon hour. Your high temperature today, that gets up to right around 32 degrees.
Todd, thank you. We are following breaking news this morning on the north side. A manhunt in Fishers has ended, but officials are still trying to piece together what exactly happened.
Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with all the details. Kelsey, what do we know right now?
So we know some information, but there's still a lot of questions that we're going to get answers to this morning at 6 a.m. So let me just break it down for you what we know right now. We do know that 2 people are now in custody, and it started with a report of drunken driving, and police then chased the 2 suspects. And then once the police chase stopped, then those 2 suspects, they say, got out of the car and fled on foot. And you know that one suspect was taken into custody almost immediately, but the other one, it was a couple hours before police had them in custody. Now, they do believe that these 2 men, these 2 male suspects, are dangerous. They believe one of them was armed, and according to police, one police officer says that he reported hearing gunshots. So we don't know. Again, we don't know if those were gunshots, what they heard, because police are still investigating. There are several police agencies on the scene: Fishers, Noblesville, ISP. We do know that the ISP helicopter was helping in that search. But again, there's still a lot of unanswered questions this morning, and we'll get more of those answers for you coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you. We'll continue to check in with you as you get more information on that breaking news. But now we want to get a check of traffic, where we are monitoring a crash over here. You see the flashing lights from police on your screen. That's the southbound lanes of I-465 right now. Right 2 lanes are blocked for this crash cleanup here at Washington Street. It's slowing down traffic quite a bit, not only in those lanes, but also people at that ramp. So just a heads up, if you're traveling there on the west side, you may want to give yourself just a few extra minutes. You can see it's getting a little bit slow at this hour. Let's take a look at our traffic now map. Again, this is the area we just showed you there on the camera. Southbound traffic impacted here, so take it slow. And then up on the north side, we are monitoring just a little bit of a slowdown on westbound I-465 between Keystone and Meridian Street. So let's take a look right now at I-465 on the southeast side near Arlington Avenue. This spot is all clear. Traffic's moving along up to speed and picking up at this early hour.
The Northwest Hendricks School Board got an earful Tuesday night from the community. The district has faced criticism in recent months for how it handled sexual misconduct allegations involving teacher Tyler Bruce. Bruce remains under criminal investigation and denies any wrongdoing, and the board voted to keep him on staff. Call 6 Investigates uncovered the board allowed one of Bruce's family members, Brad Williams here, to vote on Bruce's employment. The board called it an oversight, but it's not sitting well with people who say it is a clear conflict of interest. After the meeting, Call 6 caught up with Williams and the board president.
I don't have to respond.
Do you think it was appropriate to vote on a matter involving your nephew? Mr. D'Agostino, what's your response to the request to resign?
You can talk to our communications director.
But you're an elected official.
You can talk to our communications director.
You're not going to answer any of our questions.
You can talk to our communications director.
The board approved the district spending $750 a day on a public relations consultant to help improve transparency. Several teachers and staff members expressed their support for the board and district and urged the community to move on. The district plans to answer some of the citizens' questions and post the answers to the district's website.
It is 5:35. Nearly 3 months ago, people living at the I-70 mobile home park were told that they would have to give up their homes that they own and get out, and so they reached out to us for help. Since our reporting, lawmakers and even the Attorney General have stepped up to help these folks here. Yesterday, the owners of the land, Blue Lakes Incorporated, and the Attorney General's office came to an agreement on the future of the I-70 mobile home park. You'll remember RTV6 was the first to shine the light on this issue after residents called our newsroom saying they're being forced to leave mobile homes that they own, but they were not given the titles or compensation for the homes that can't be moved. Now the agreement requires every resident to be given either their title or their money back for the homes that they paid for.
Sounds good to me. I mean, if I'm given some cash, I mean, at least compensated for what I've got and, you know, and some of what I've put in, I'm happy with that. I'll leave. I'll be happy with that.
Well, once residents receive either the money or the title for their mobile homes, they're going to have 21 days to pack up and leave. You can find all of our stories about this situation at the I-70 mobile home park right now at our website, theindychannel.com.
With winter weather upon us, it's likely you're heating your home in various ways. Officials say heating is the second leading cause of home fires, so you'll want to take some steps to keep your family safe. If you're using a fireplace, make sure it's cleaned out properly and also check your chimneys. Firefighters also recommend inspecting furnaces, boilers, and filters. If you have a space heater, make sure to keep flammable items at least 3 feet away and do not leave them unattended. And as always, you'll want to make sure your home has working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and an emergency evacuation plan in case of a fire.
A reminder this morning about the importance of keeping your four-legged friends safe from the dangerous weather conditions out there. Workers with the group Friends of Indianapolis Dogs Outside, or FIDO, spent yesterday looking for pets who are in need of help. FIDO works to connect owners with items or resources to protect their pets. The group recommends dog houses filled with hay for dogs to burrow in. Blankets, they're not recommended, and that's because they can hold moisture and freeze. They also want to remind owners that there's city ordinances. In Indianapolis, for example, dogs can't be left outside when it's colder than 20 degrees or if there's a wind chill advisory. For more information about the FIDO organization, go to the RTV6 app and click on this story.
If you're like most people, you may spend a few minutes heating up your car in the morning, especially with these below freezing temps. But experts at AAA say that's not necessary. Warming up your car frequently is something people did when cars had carburetors and engines needed to be warmed up to keep from freezing. Well, these days, most cars don't even have carburetors. But it is a good idea to make sure you have 50-50 mix of antifreeze in your coolant system. That should should keep you in good shape unless temperatures dip below -35 or so. And Todd, if I hear -35 come out of your mouth anytime soon, I'm not going to be a very happy girl.
You won't hear that from me. So
all right.
That is good news. I think I warm my car more just so it's warm when I get in it, not so much for the car itself. But as we walk out the door here this morning, temperatures are in the single digits in most locations. On average, right around 8 degrees. You see the temperature at the bottom right-hand portion of your screen, 10 degrees in Indianapolis right now. It was down to 9, which broke the record low temperature that was set back in 1986. As the kids come home from school, it's much better. I know it's still cold. I know it's still below normal, but yesterday we only got up to 21 degrees. Today we're up to 32 degrees with partly cloudy skies, so you will notice a little more in the way of cloud cover starting to spill in here as the day goes on, but you do not have to worry about any of that precipitation. But the better news is each and every day in our future, the temperatures will start to moderate just a little bit. Saturday should be about par with 40 degrees, and then by the time we get to Monday, the temperature is going to be approaching that 50-degree mark. So there are warmer days ahead. Just got to be patient, get through this morning. We'll talk more about that extended forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thanks. A new phase of the impeachment investigation begins today with the first 2 open hearings. We'll have a preview of what you can expect straight ahead.
And Colin Kaepernick may get his chance to return to professional football. We'll tell you how the NFL is helping him get back into the game.
And here at 540, we are monitoring a crash right now that could slow down your commute over here on the west side. You can see the flashing lights off in a distance. That's southbound I-465 at Washington Street. Traffic, as you can see, is getting pretty heavy. Use caution traveling through this area. We're making calls, and we'll keep you updated on what's going on here when we come back after the break.
We're there, so you can be too.
Time now is 5:43. Take a look here over on the west side. We are monitoring this traffic alert for you in the southbound lanes. The right lanes are blocked for a crash right now. We're working to get more information on what's going on here. But as you can see, traffic is slowing down. Give yourself an extra 5-10 minutes if this is part of your morning commute. The impeachment inquiry into President Trump kicks off a new phase today. It's public. 2 diplomats will appear before a House Intelligence Committee.
Bill Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, and George Kent, a senior State Department official in charge of Ukraine policy, will take the stand today. Then on Friday, Marie Yovanovitch, a former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, will testify. Democrats say Trump abused his power by threatening to withhold congressionally approved funds for Ukraine unless officials investigated presidential candidate Joe Biden. Republicans say Trump's requests don't matter because Ukraine did eventually get that money. The Taliban has agreed to release an American and an Australian hostage in a prisoner swap with the Afghan government. That's according to Afghan President Ashraf Ghani. Kevin King, a professor at the American University in Kabul, and his Australian colleague Timothy Weeks were kidnapped in August of 2016 by a Taliban-affiliated group. In a televised address, Ghani said 3 high-level Taliban officials will be conditionally released. The prisoner exchange could restart negotiations meant to end the U.S. military presence in Afghanistan.
It is 5:45. 5 survivors of the deadly Garlic Festival shooting that happened out in California are now suing the festival organizers. The shooting happened back in July, and 3 people were killed. More than a dozen others were injured. That's when a gunman opened fire at the Gilroy Garlic Festival. Now, according to police, the gunman was able to break through that festival through a fence. Lawyers for the victims say that they just want to keep festival organizers held accountable.
They want to make sure that promoters of public events like the Gilroy Garlic Festival take reasonable steps to ensure the safety of the attendees of the event. They did not do that here. They failed miserably.
In a statement, the Gilroy Garlic Festival Association responded in part saying, quote, the lawsuit filed today stemming from a horrific act of domestic terrorism is not unexpected, and we will respond through the appropriate legal channels.
Colin Kaepernick is getting another shot to show off his skills for NFL teams. The league is holding a private workout for him this Saturday. The former quarterback has not played since 2016 after he began kneeling during the national anthem to protest police shootings of African-American men. The event will be held in Atlanta and will reportedly include both on-field work and an interview. In a tweet, Kaepernick said he's, quote, been in shape and ready for this for 3 years.
McDonald's is rolling out its first new seasonal McFlurry in 7 years, and it's a good one. The fast food chain recently unveiling the Snickerdoodle McFlurry. The sweet treat combines vanilla soft serve ice cream and crunchy crumbles of sweet cinnamon cookies. McDonald's says that it wanted to give customers something special for the holidays. The Snickerdoodle McFlurry is available this week through the Uber Eats app, and then after that, it's going to hit menus nationwide for a limited time. And Todd, while that looks pretty good, I don't know, you may want a warm drink.
Yeah, a little too chilly for that this morning, I think.
I guess on the plus side, if you took it to go and you walked outside, you don't have to worry about it melting, right? So,
you could really savor it.
It looks pretty good. So, this morning, we got down to 9 degrees shortly after midnight, and once that temperature hit 9 degrees in Indianapolis, it broke another record low. So in the past couple days, we've broken 2 record low temperatures, and we set the snowfall record for the single day on Monday. So records we really don't want to be breaking here, but we're finally going to start to turn this weather pattern just a little bit after this big punch of some early season winter air. Live look outside right now, and the lights there on the speedway and the city skyline off in the distance. The temperature has actually come up a degree since we hit 9 earlier this morning, at least at the airport in Indianapolis. It's 10 degrees. And here's the key to the forecast. The wind's not very strong right now, but it's out of the southeast, and that wind direction here is going to start to take the temperature up a little bit in the coming days here as we go throughout the course of the next few days. So we're in the single digits right now, 5 in Crawfordsville, 6 in Bloomington, 8 in Tipton, as well as Greenfield. So it's very, very cold out there. There's no doubt about that. I know that. The wind factor is, the wind direction is helping to bring the warmer temperatures in here, but the wind's not that strong right now, and so that's why we're not factoring in too much of a wind chill currently across the area. So the snow's on the ground. We'll melt a good chunk of that away throughout the day today, because one, will have a good amount of sunshine at least to start the day, and then as we go into the evening hours, you'll notice the clouds start to increase a little bit, but the temperature gets up to right around 32 degrees across the area, and the combination of temperatures at 32 degrees and sunshine is going to help things out here across the area. But the clouds are starting to filter in across the area in northern locations, and you'll notice some cloud cover building in throughout the day today, but we're not expecting any precipitation. We are going to remain completely dry. Some snow showers may try to clip northwest Indiana as we get into Wednesday evening here, but overall, we are going to be dealing with a nice quiet day. This evening is quiet as well, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures with the clouds moving in will hold steady right around 29 degrees across the area, and then for the day tomorrow, we'll continue to moderate the temperatures a little bit. In fact, tomorrow, some areas could get to 40 degrees, which is still way below normal. But I tell you what, 40 degrees and sunshine tomorrow is going to feel pretty good across the area. And then as we continue throughout the remainder of the week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as we work our way into your weekend, temperatures will get back up into the 40s. It's a dry weekend for us. And then next week, temperatures get back up to right around 50 degrees on Monday and Tuesday. Our average high right now is 54 degrees. As we get towards the beginning of next week, that average high comes down to about 52 degrees. So we finally get, Lauren, back to more seasonable weather as we head into Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We do want to get to some breaking news we're following right now in the traffic department. We've been showing you this crash on the west side, and unfortunately, we can report to you that it is a deadly crash. State police confirming that to RTV6 in just the past few minutes here. Southbound lanes of I-465 are moving slowly past Washington Street. The crash is in the right lanes right now, and police are at the scene. So let's take a live look out there right now, and you can see what's happening. Folks who are getting off on the exit ramps, you can see, are over to the right. We have the right lanes of the interstate blocked, which sort of looks like the center lanes now as well. Left lanes remain open but are slow, so this is a spot we will continue to monitor throughout the morning. Again, southbound I-465 at Washington Street on the west side.
Dean Foods, America's largest milk producer, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. This in an effort to keep the 94-year-old company operating. The filing will also allow it to reorganize its debt and help fund workers' pensions. Dean Foods, which makes brands including Organic Valley and Land O'Lakes, has struggled recently because Americans are drinking less cow's milk. The company says it's working with Dairy Farmers of America to cooperate on a potential deal in the cooperative, which the cooperative would buy most of the company, that is.
Well, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and if you have a hard time getting that turkey just right, hey, you're not the only one. In fact, so many people find it challenging that there's actually a hotline to call if you need help. Jennie-O Turkey Store can help provide you with expert chef advice at 1-800-TURKEYS. People who call this hotline will then be connected to well-known chefs, social media influencers, and bloggers or certified master chefs. They're ready to field any kind of holiday cooking questions you may have, including advice on sides, desserts, and much more. The Jennie-O Turkey Store says it's expecting more than 1,000 calls this month.
Today is World Kindness Day, and one Florida school is going above and beyond to make sure their students show kindness every day. That's coming up after the break.
Release a select new 2019 model.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana at 5:55. We are monitoring a deadly crash here on the west side. The camera's frozen, but it is moving slowly on southbound I-465 here at Washington Street. Right lanes are blocked this hour. We'll continue to follow this and keep you updated, but give yourself that extra time.
A Florida school is making kindness just as crucial as reading, writing, and arithmetic. Canterbury School of Florida principal Claudine Ciotat says she wants her students to know that even the smallest gesture can make a big difference. Kindergartners at the private school wear Kindness Crusaders capes, while older kids proudly strut shirts that read, "Be kind every day." There's also a buddy bench for lonely kids to make friends, and signs line the hall with messages like "Work hard, play kind." Ciotat says teaching compassion and empathy right along with math and science opens students up to learning about everything else.
They're not going to learn if they're upset about something.
How does that involve kindness?
So take a moment, close the book, and have a conversation with them and help them work through the things that they need to. We want our children to know that, not only can we be kind to each other in school, but we can be kind to others in the community.
Principal Ciotat says healthier minds and richer self-esteem also lead to better learning of basic academics. Well, Mother Nature isn't being too kind to us this week.
Yeah, you could say that, Todd. What are we looking like out there today?
It's another bitter cold morning for us here across the area as temperatures have fallen into the single digits in some locations, but temperatures actually climbing in other locales. We got down to 9 degrees earlier in Indianapolis, now up to 12. It's still 7, though, in Bloomington. Skies are mainly clear as we go throughout the day today. Temperatures will eventually climb up to right around 30 to 32 degrees. Still very cold. But it's much better than where we were yesterday when we only got up to about 21 degrees. The other issue today, as the day goes on, it's not so much an issue this morning, but as the day progresses, you're going to notice those winds kick up, and that's going to put wind chill values back down into the teens.
Todd, thank you. Coming up in the next half hour, a manhunt in Fishers ends with 2 people in custody. Our Kelsey Anderson will be live with the latest. We'll be right back.